The royal guards dragged a terrified young human named Ethan into the glowing throne hall. Every alien noble stood in shock. The air was tight. The queen's 4 burning eyes stared at him with pure rage. A trembling alien princess, Liara, stepped forward and whispered, "Mother, I am pregnant. And Ethan is the father." The queen rose from her crystal throne, her voice shaking the palace walls. "A human? Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe." Ethan, a low-rank engineer from Earth, joins a peace mission. His shuttle crashes on Velnora, home of tall, powerful alien warriors. He is captured and taken to the palace because humans are considered weak and untrustworthy. Liara visits the cell where Ethan is held. Unlike others, she is curious about humans. She asks simple questions about Earth, food, weather, and animals. Ethan answers honestly and makes her laugh, something no alien prince ever did. Their bond slowly grows. The royal throne hall of Velnora shook as the doors slammed open. 2 giant alien guards dragged a young human inside. His wrists were locked with glowing cuffs, and his clothes were torn from the struggle. His name was Ethan, an engineer from Earth who had never imagined he would stand before an alien queen. Nobles with scaled skin and sharp eyes whispered among themselves. Humans were rare on this planet. Most Velnorans considered them weak, soft, and unworthy of any respect. And yet, here was one, brought straight into the heart of the royal palace. At the far end of the hall, seated on a tall crystal throne, was Queen Zeliara, ruler of Velnora. Her 4 eyes glowed like molten gold. Her crown floated slightly above her head, powered by ancient energy. She was known across galaxies for her strength, her pride, and her hatred of lies. As Ethan was forced to his knees, every light in the hall dimmed. The queen stood. "Human," she said, her voice deep enough to shake the air. "Do you know why you are here?" Ethan looked around nervously. He had no answer. The guards who dragged him here refused to tell him anything. He swallowed as he looked up at the queen, whose expression was unreadable. Before he could speak, someone else stepped into the hall, someone the nobles instantly recognized. A young alien woman with silver blue skin, long radiant tendrils instead of hair, and soft purple eyes. She walked with trembling steps. It was Princess Liara, the queen's only daughter. The hall went silent. Even the queen stiffened. Liara stopped beside Ethan. She looked down at him with fear, then lifted her chin and faced her mother. With a shaking voice, she said, "Mother, I am pregnant. And Ethan is the father." The hall exploded. WITH gasps. Nobles stumbled back in shock. Guards tightened their grips on their weapons. A human was responsible for an heir? But nothing was louder than the sound the queen made. A slow, dangerous inhale. Then, a roar so powerful the entire palace shook. "My daughter is pregnant, and her husband is a human?" The queen raised a glowing spear and stepped forward. Ethan froze. Liara cried out. The guards held her back. The tip of the spear stopped just inches from Ethan's heart. And then, the screen fades to black. The narration begins. The story rewinds. How did this happen? Ethan had arrived on Velnora months earlier, though not by choice. He was part of a small Earth engineering crew sent to repair a space beacon near the borders of alien territory. During the mission, a sudden malfunction caused his shuttle to spin out of control. They lost power and crashed deep into Velnoran jungle territory. The others died. Ethan survived. Barely. He wandered the jungle for 2 days with no food, no water, and no clue where he was. The trees were massive, glowing, and filled with strange creatures. He had to climb inside a hollow tree at night just to avoid the predators that hunted under the twin moons. On the 3rd day, a royal patrol found him. To them, he was an intruder. To Velnorans, humans were nothing more than small, fragile creatures who needed protection to survive. Some alien warriors even said humans were better suited as pets. So when Ethan was brought to the palace, he expected death. Instead, he was locked inside a clean but guarded room underground. He was fed, given water, and examined by healers. They were curious about him but treated him like a little animal that had wandered into the palace by mistake. Ethan felt angry but helpless. He couldn't fight. He couldn't escape. He could only wait. And that was when Princess Liara entered his life. The Princess WHO broke every rule. Liara was unlike the other Velnorans. While they were tall, muscular, and proud, she was gentle and curious. She could break steel with her hands, but she preferred books and gardens. One night, when the guards left the prisoner hall, she quietly slipped inside Ethan's room. Ethan stood up, ready to defend himself, but she raised her hand softly. "I won't hurt you," she said. Her voice was calm, smooth like running water. Her eyes watched him not with disgust, but with interest. She asked him simple questions. What do humans eat? Are your cities big? Do you have families? What does your world look like? Ethan answered, nervous at first but slowly growing comfortable. He talked about Earth, about oceans, mountains, coffee, rainfall, birds, and crowded streets. Liara listened as if Earth was a storybook she had never read. Then, she laughed. It was the first time Ethan heard an alien laugh. Light, musical. He couldn't help but smile. After that night, Liara visited him again. And again. Every single day. A dangerous bond grows as days passed. Ethan and Liara grew close. She smuggled him real food, fruit with glowing skins, sweet nectar drinks, and even a warm cloak when the underground room got too cold. Ethan told her jokes. Simple human jokes that made no sense to Velnoran culture, but she laughed anyway because his laughter made her heart feel light. She taught him the basics of her language. He taught her simple Earth phrases like, thank you, sorry, and, you're amazing. Their friendship was innocent, at first. But Velnorans were strict. Royalty was forbidden from bonding with outsiders, especially humans. The punishment was severe. Liara knew this, yet she still visited, and Ethan always waited for her. The night Ethan saved her one evening during a heavy storm, the palace came under attack. Shadow beasts, creatures born from the storm's electric energy, burst into the lower tunnels. Ethan heard the alarms. He heard screams. But instead of hiding, he grabbed a broken piece of metal and ran. He found Liara trapped under a fallen pillar, surrounded by shadow beasts with glowing teeth. Without thinking, he threw the metal piece at one beast and used his engineering tools to spark a blinding flash, disorienting them. He crawled to Liara and helped lift the pillar with all his strength, though he was shaking and sweating. Together, with her guiding him, they escaped as guards rushed to fight off the beasts. Liara had never seen someone so weak physically act so strong. She touched Ethan's hand gently, a gesture that meant deep trust in Velnoran culture. You saved me, she whispered. Why? Ethan gave a simple answer. Because you're my friend. Liara felt something in her chest tighten. Something warm. Something she had been warned never to feel for a human. Forbidden feelings. Their bond deepened. Ethan was moved out of the prison cell and allowed to walk in the palace garden. Only when Liara was with him, of course. They spent nights talking under glowing plants. They shared stories, worries, and dreams. Liara told him she felt trapped by royal life. Ethan told her he feared he would never see Earth again. One night, a dangerous storm hit the palace again. All royal members were ordered to stay inside secure chambers. Liara didn't want Ethan alone in the prisoner area during the storm. So she broke every rule. She took him to her own chamber and locked the doors. The wind howled outside. Energy sparks flashed like lightning. Inside, the room was lit by soft blue glow crystals. Ethan shivered. Liara wrapped a warm mantle around him. She sat beside him, closer than ever before. Ethan, she whispered, you are not weak. She lifted his chin gently. You are kind. That is true strength. Ethan's heart raced. Tears filled his eyes. And in that moment, their hands touched. Their foreheads leaned together, and their lips met, a kiss that changed everything. The discovery weeks passed. Liara felt strange. Her energy changed. Her body glowed faintly under moonlight. The palace healer examined her. His eyes went wide. He fell to his knees in shock. Your Highness, you are pregnant. The child is strong, very strong. The queen and nobles rushed into the chamber. Impossible, the queen shouted. Humans and Velnorans cannot create life. But the healer only bowed deeper. It has already happened. The child inside the princess is part human. Lara's hands shook. Her face flushed with fear. But she whispered the truth anyway. It is Ethan, mother. Ethan is the father. The queen's expression turned to pure rage. Ethan's capture within minutes. Guards stormed the palace garden where Ethan walked. He didn't fight. He didn't scream. He only looked around desperately, searching for Liara. He saw her, held back by guards, crying, reaching for him. I'm sorry, Ethan whispered to her as he was dragged away. Back to the present, the throne hall. Ethan knelt as the queen stepped toward him with a glowing spear. Lyra screamed, "Mother, stop!" But the queen ignored her. She raised the spear above Ethan's heart. "My daughter is pregnant, and her husband is a human? I should erase this insult from history." Ethan closed his eyes. Lyra tried to break free. Nobles waited for blood. And then, the glowing spear hovered only inches from Ethan's chest. He could smell the heat. His heart hammered. The entire throne hall held its breath as Queen Zelyara stared down at him with burning fury in all four of her eyes. Lyra screamed, trying to push past the guards holding her back. "Mother, please, don't hurt him." But the queen did not look at her daughter. Her spear crackled with raw energy, ready to pierce. "Humans," the queen growled, "are weak. Fragile. They are not worthy of my bloodline." Ethan's breath shook. He knew he couldn't fight back. He knew he couldn't outrun these giants. All he could do was speak. "Your Majesty," he said quietly, "I never meant to disrespect your world. Or your daughter. I care for her. I didn't plan any of this." The queen's spear moved closer, when suddenly, a deep, thunderous alarm exploded through the hall. Boom. 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 The floor vibrated. The lights flickered. A second alarm joined, this one shrill and sharp, an emergency invasion alert. The queen's spear froze midair. A guard burst into the hall. His armor was Cr. Act, and his left arm sparked with damaged circuits. "Your Majesty," the guard shouted. "We are under attack." The nobles panicked. The queen's eyes widened. "By who?" she demanded. The guard swallowed hard. "The Crag Dominion, Your Majesty. Their war fleet has entered our skies. They are breaking through the palace shield." A cold silence swept through the hall. Even Ethan felt the air change. The Crag Dominion, a brutal empire, known for conquering planets, enslaving species, and experimenting on anything they didn't understand. Lyra's hand went to her stomach. The child inside her, half human, half Velnoran, would be a priceless weapon to the Crag. "They want the baby," Lyra whispered in terror. The queen lowered her spear slowly. Her anger shifted into something else, fear. And Ethan realized something important. He wasn't the biggest problem anymore. The invasion begins. Explosions rattled the palace walls. Huge shadows passed over the hall as enemy ships flew overhead. The sky outside turned red with fire. Another guard rushed in. "They've breached the eastern tower." Casualties rising. The queen clenched her jaw. "To your battle stations. Protect the princess." The nobles and warriors sprinted out. Ethan remained on the floor, still bound. A guard moved toward him, spear ready. "Your Majesty, should we eliminate the human now?" Lyra screamed again, "No." Even Ethan braced himself. But Queen Zelyara raised her hand. "Not yet," she said. "The Crag are here for something far more important." She turned to Lyra. "They want you. And the child." Lyra shivered. Ethan's eyes widened. "Your Majesty," Ethan said, "I can help. Please, let me help protect her." One of the guards laughed harshly. "A human? Help us fight?" But Ethan kept his voice steady. "I know machines. I know tech. I helped fix Earth stations that survived enemy attacks. I can help reinforce the palace. I can predict how the Crag will enter." The queen stared at him. Her eyes narrowed as if searching his soul. "Why?" she asked quietly. Ethan did not hesitate. "Because Lyra is my family. And I defend my family." Lyra's breath caught. For the first time, her mother saw something different in Ethan's eyes. Not weakness, not fear, but determination. After a long silence, the queen shouted, "Release him." The guards froze. "Your Majesty, obey your queen." They unlocked Ethan's cuffs. And Ethan stood tall, not brave but committed. Ethan's plan. Ethan rushed toward the palace schematics displayed on a glowing wall screen. Velnoran warriors watched him with suspicion and confusion. He pointed quickly. "The Crag will hit the weakest shield points first, here, here, and here. They prefer fast, direct entries. They will avoid long fights." The queen crossed her arms. "How do you know this?" "Because humans learned the hard way," Ethan said bitterly. "They attacked us once." He swallowed, forcing the memory away. Ethan grabbed spare power coils, emergency mines, and shield generators. Lyra watched him with wide eyes. "You're shaking," she whispered. "I'm terrified," he admitted softly. "But I won't let them take you." Her eyes filled with warmth. The queen noticed this exchange but said nothing. Battle begins. The eastern tower collapsed under enemy fire. Crag soldiers, huge armored brutes with sharp mechanical limbs, stormed inside. Ethan placed portable shield generators along the corridor. Blue barriers burst to life, blocking enemy paths. He shoved EMP mines into cracks in the walls. Wait for them to pass these points, he told the warriors. Then detonate. The alien warriors nodded, impressed. A sudden rumble shook the floor. Crag troops smashed through the corridor. Ethan stood behind the Queen's army, trembling but refusing to move. Now, he shouted. The EMP mines exploded, bright blue flashes filling the halls. The Crag's mechanical armor malfunctioned, sending them crashing to the ground. The Velnoran warriors charged and finished the fight with powerful energy spears. The Queen watched all of it. A human's plan had saved her people. A heart-stopping moment as the battle continued. Ethan turned a corner, and nearly ran straight into a Crag warlord. Twice his size, triple his mass, eyes glowing red, the warlord roared and swung a massive mechanical claw. Ethan jumped back, but the strike clipped his side. Pain shot through him. He fell hard. Liara screamed his name from down the hallway. The warlord raised his claw to kill Ethan, but Ethan grabbed an EMP charge from his belt. He pressed it directly against the monster's chest. "I'm not letting you take her," Ethan growled. The EMP detonated. Electric sparks flew everywhere. The warlord's armor shut down. Liara rushed forward, pulling Ethan to safety as Velnoran guards finished the creature. Ethan collapsed into her arms, bleeding and shaking. "You idiot," she whispered, tears falling. "Why did you stand there alone?" Ethan smiled weakly. "Because, you're mine to protect. Both of you." Liara pressed her forehead to his. The Queen sees the truth. Queen Zelyara approached, her face unreadable. Ethan tried to stand, but she gently pushed him back down. "You risked your life for my daughter," she said quietly. "You fought for a world that is not yours. You bled for a child that is only half your blood." Ethan met her eyes. "I'd do it again." The Queen looked at Liara, who held Ethan with shaking hands. Then at the dying sparks of the EMP charge in Ethan's palm. And for the first time, the Queen's anger faded. "Humans," she whispered, "are strange creatures." Liara wiped her tears. "Mother, please, accept him." The Queen exhaled slowly. "If this human had been a coward, I would have ended him. If he had been selfish, I would have rejected him. If he had been weak, I would have protected you myself." She stepped closer. "But he is none of those things." Ethan swallowed. "Then, what am I?" The Queen's lips lifted ever so slightly. "You are stubborn, loyal, and painfully brave." She placed her hand on Lara's stomach. "The child inside you is strong. Stronger than any child before. Human courage and Velnoran power, together." She turned to Ethan. "If Liara has chosen you, then I will not stand in her way." Ethan felt his vision blur. Not from pain, but from relief. Liara let out a soft sob of joy. Queen Zelyara extended her hand toward Ethan. "Rise," she commanded, "not as a prisoner, but as the chosen partner of the Princess of Velnora." Ethan slowly stood. The Queen nodded once. "You are family now." A new beginning. After the battle ended, the palace was quiet again. The fires were extinguished. The skies cleared. Ethan stood on the highest balcony with Liara, watching the sunrise spread across the planet. He placed his hand gently on her stomach. "I can't believe we're having a child," he whispered. Liara smiled. "It is real. And our child will have a future now." Ethan looked at her glowing eyes. "I will protect you both," he said softly. "No matter what." Liara held his hand tighter. "Not just protect," she whispered. "Stay with us. Build a life with us." Ethan nodded. "A life on Velnora, with you." The Queen's final words. Queen Zelyara joined them on the balcony. She looked at the rising sun, then at the small human who stood bravely beside her daughter. "If a human and a Velnoran can create such powerful life together," she said slowly, "then maybe our worlds can also find peace." Ethan bowed his head respectfully. "I hope so, Your Majesty." The Queen placed a hand on his shoulder. "And I will make sure your child grows in a world where both sides are respected." Liara leaned her head on Ethan's shoulder. The three of them, Queen, Princess, and Human, stood together as the first rays of light touched the palace. A new future had begun. A future where love had defeated fear. Where courage had broken old beliefs. Where a tiny hybrid child had changed the fate of two worlds. And Ethan whispered one last promise to the life growing inside Liara. I'll protect you. Always.